Just a robot.
So you guys remember that video from JelloApocalypse I covered, right? The one where he said he wasn't trying to tell people what to vote for, and then later admitted that he was trying to get people to vote Democrat. And let's not forget about all his emotional manipulation tactics.
Vote Like a Black Man was hanged from a tree for protesting police violence, and police killing black men just for being black.
Boy, that argument did not age well.
Vote Like a Black Man hired 2 Nigerians to beat him up, so that he could claim that supporters of a president he doesn't like tried to hang him, because that is what's happening in America.
The major difference between my stupid argument and Jello's stupid argument is mine is actually true. It's only speculation that that guy was hung. The police deemed it a suicide. And yeah, he protested police violence 4 years before he was found hanging from a tree in his own backyard. But despite what JelloApocalypse did, I still of course enjoy his videos. I was recently binge watching his So This Is Basically series. But as I was watching it, I noticed something. A lot of main female characters from shows done in the CalArts style are really horrible people. Characters like Mabel,
by having her learn no lessons for 40 episodes, then watch as Marbles makes Dipstick give up everything so she can have summer free time and boys over and over again. And she's just totally selfish all the time. And they bring it up in universe and it just never gets resolved. Like, literally the devil calls her out on it.
Princess Bubblegum.
They quest for the sake of Princess Bubblegum, the leader of the Candy Kingdom, who often clones and murders her own subjects. Watch as she causes the conflict in a third of the episodes, and then Jake causes the conflict in the rest of them.
And of course, Amethyst.
Remember that time Armrest traumatized Steven by turning into his dead mom to taunt his emotionally broken father, and then made up for it by cleaning their garage? Yeah. That makes up for that.
And I'm going to be going over these characters one by one. Now I want to make this clear for the people who are not too familiar with these shows. None of these characters I'm going over are villains or ever become villains. Except for Princess Bubblegum, but that was because of a magic spell. Now I already said this stuff in my video on Steven Universe, but I'm going to repeat what I really hate about Amethyst.
What's that? I'm missing the fireworks! It's past midnight! How did I get so sucked into the show again? It's like everything else just disappears. Ugh.
Whoa, don't go. We're having a really good time.
Nothing big so far, but if you try to leave and someone grabs you or a part of your clothing to get you to stay, that's red flag number 1. But again, nothing really that bad so far.
Here, look. I've got the 2-part Hawaii special.
But Steven really wanted me to do New Year's.
He'll be fine. He's Steven. He's tough.
I wanted to be there.
Here. It would have been like this. Whoa, fireworks! Hey, Dad, come on. Now let's watch some Little Butler.
Now, Jaiden Animations has done an excellent video on how manipulation works.
The way manipulation works is that it builds up slowly over time and is almost entirely emotional. Chad might instead start isolating Sally from her friends by nitpicking things he doesn't like about an individual person at a time. I don't like how Nick talks to a lot of girls. That's kinda weird. Don't you think Dawn drinks too much? That's not too responsible of her. Little implants like that can make Sally view her friends not as highly one by one and start trusting Chad more.
And that's exactly what Amethyst is doing. Except for she's not doing it to one of Greg's friends. She's doing it to one of her friends. And Greg's own son. What the hell?
Amethyst, you know how I feel about shape-shifting.
Geez, sorry. I was just trying to cheer you up. Oh, that's right. I forgot you're so sensitive.
I know you like making me uncomfortable, but it's not funny. I can't stay here and humor you. I have to be there for my son.
That's another common manipulation tactic. If someone doesn't do what you want them to do, start insulting them. And do your best to try to get them to think that they're the problem.
Well, what about me, huh? I had someone who was always there for me until she started hanging out with you!
Don't do this, Amethyst. Seriously.
I bet you'd stay for her.
You wouldn't.
What? Do this? Hey, Greg. Turn around. Check it out.
God, this scene is so hard to watch. I can't believe it made it on TV. She just shapeshifted into Greg's dead wife to mock him. Who does that? That's like some supervillain shit. And Amethyst knew Rose Quartz a lot longer than Greg did. Yet doing this doesn't bother her at all. I guess she forgot to shapeshift a prefrontal lobe.
I know you're doing it! I want to be friends again, I really do! But I can't let you do this to me again!
Wait, what do you mean you're not gonna let her do this to you again? You mean this is not the first time? Greg, I don't mean to be a victim blamer here, but it takes a strong person to stay in an abusive relationship. But it takes an even stronger person to leave one. And now Steven is scarred for life. I don't want to repeat myself too much since I already went over this whole scene in my Steven Universe video, but goddamn, Amethyst is terrible. But that's just Amethyst. Now let's move on to Princess Bubblegum. Easy Peasy did a fantastic video on why Princess Bubblegum is one of the most unlikable characters in all of Adventure Time. I'll link it down below. It only got 50,000 views, and it definitely deserves a lot more.
She almost committed genocide by secretly freezing the core of the Fire Kingdom in an episode where one background character seemingly died on screen because of her actions, all to get access to the Fire Kingdom's weapons of mass destruction, despite she herself having the exact same weapons of mass destruction and having them working 24 hours a day to protect her kingdom. On top of that, she helped the Fire King construct a prison cell to contain his 2-year-old daughter in it for the rest of her life.
This is just a taste of what Easy Peasy's video is like. He of course goes over many more terrible things Princess Bubblegum has done, but about 70% of the video is all the terrible things she did to Lemon Grab. But unlike Amethyst, the writers seem to be aware of just how evil Princess Bubblegum is. For example, Princess Bubblegum creates this very powerful creature called Goliad. It quickly turns into an evil dictator, and it's only stopped after Princess Bubblegum makes a Goliad 2.0. The reason why Goliad was evil while the other one was good is because the evil one had Princess Bubblegum's DNA and the good one had Finn's DNA.
I don't understand. If Goliad and Stormo are the same, how come Stormo was a good guy?
Oh, that's simple. I used some of your heroic DNA in Stormo's recipe and not Goliad's.
But then again, pretty much everyone in Adventure Time is pretty terrible.
Watch as Finn rebounds off a war crime McGrime onto a literal flame demon, who then dumps him for being too creepy.
Now we're gonna move on to the third and final character. Well, I think most people would agree with me on Princess Bubblegum and Amethyst. A lot of people really like Mabel, and I totally understand why. I liked her character for the longest time. But then I saw this video from CC West, where he goes over everything he doesn't like about Mabel's character, and it's nearly an hour long. After watching the entire thing, I realized just how much of a guilt trip Mabel is.
She guilts Dipper into sacrificing his happiness with Wendy so that she can get Waddles back. In the deep end, she makes Dipper sacrifice his nice job and quality time with Wendy so that she can rescue Mermando and return him to the ocean. Now, I will admit, this one isn't quite as bad because she's saving a life, but it's also bad in a different way because there was no reason it had to cost Dipper his job.
Now, if you want to watch the full video, I highly recommend checking it out. I will link it down below. Now, the problem isn't just that Mabel is guilt-tripping Dipper. If someone guilt-trips you so you'll take a day off of work and drive them someplace even though they can easily take an Uber, is one thing. But Mabel's guilt-tripping is a bit more extreme. To Mabel, a boy that she just now has a crush on is more important than a laptop that could have secrets on it that could have changed the course of human history.
In Sock Opera, Mabel refuses to help Dipper with the laptop because of yet another vain crush. And she doesn't just let him work on it himself. Oh no. She guilts him into helping her with the puppet show instead.
Now granted, we later found out that the laptop really wasn't that important. But Dipper and Mabel didn't know that at the time. In fact, Dipper thought the laptop had information on it that could have saved the world. Now, we all know that as soon as Mabel finds something she's interested in, whether it's a boy, a new hobby, or a friend, she will leave Dipper and not help him out with anything at the drop of a hat. But if Dipper leaves Mabel because he gets a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that would not only help him but the entire planet, she flips out!
Is she really so horrible that she would deny Dipper his potential destiny as a world-saving hero just so that she could keep him in this abusive, parasitic relationship.
Mabel to me seems like one of those people that if she broke up with someone, she really wouldn't care all that much. But if someone broke up with her, she would either fall to her knees and start sobbing or throw a tantrum. And on top of all of this, Mabel is a total hypocrite.
In Boys Crazy, she kidnaps several times with the help of Candy and Grinda. As if kidnapping them wasn't bad enough, she then proceeds to teach them nothing about the real world and keeps them essentially as human pets. When their producer is locked up and the boys should be free to go, Mabel lies to them against Candy and Grinda's word and has the boys throw the two of them out.
So Mabel thinks what this producer is doing to these boys is wrong, so she frees them. Once the producer is captured, she doesn't let them go. In fact, she starts using them for her own benefit, which is exactly what the producer did. Now, I've talked a lot about hypocrisy on this channel without really explaining why I hate it so much. The reason why I hate hypocrisy is because it shows that a person either has a complete lack of self-awareness, or they'll apply a moral code to other people while not applying it to themselves. So why do I think that so many of the female main characters done in the CalArts style are just horrible people? Honestly, it's probably just a coincidence. But if you want to come up with a conspiracy of your own, share it in the comments section down below. And to all my patrons out there, next week is going to be the Patreon shoutout. And patrons, don't forget to send me a request for what my next video topic should be about. My eyes have seen the glory of the cleansing of YouTube, debunking SJWs and feminazis too. We criticize reactionists in hopes they get the boot, just a robot marches on.
Steven Universe teaches us that even if we come to understand someone, we can still hate them.